What is going on, guys? They call me Epi. Welcome to another video on the channel today. In today's video, I wanted to go over the DLC problems for Ghost Recon and speculate on some potential and possible changes and updates that Ubisoft could be making to the DLC. If you do enjoy this video, consider leaving a like on it, subscribing if you're new to my channel, and turning on that bell notification, that bell icon, so you guys never miss Ghost Recon uploads on the channel. So I wanted to get right into it. Link below in the description is going to be a forum post on the official Ghost Recon forum, in which somebody does address some of the DLC issues that most of the community, I'm assuming, as well as most of you guys do identify with and understand. So I'm going to highlight some of that here today. Cookie Cook 88 on the official forum says he loves the game from the day he bought it. He sunk about 96 hours in. Him and his friends always go onto Reddit and they see all this love for the game. It's very unique. It's a great shooter. We understand that. That's why we play Ghost Recon. But Cookie points out one of the biggest problems with the DLC right now by saying he's concerned with where this game is headed with the recent DLC and upcoming content to be released. Games like Call of Duty started to fall away from reality and more into a colorful tone, which is fine for those games, but with this one that is so unique and immersive in the real feel gameplay, I don't want to see it fall down that same path. From the DLC that he has seen, aside from those based on other Ubisoft games, they're starting to fall into the category of make-believe. Now, he understands you don't have to pay for the DLC, but he, and just like me and a lot of you guys have heard that more and more people say they would actually be willing to purchase DLC if it was more realistic or more tactical. Now, this is in the description if you guys want to read it for yourself, but this is nailing it right on the head. I don't think this is surprise and news to anybody who's been in the community for a little bit since the game came out. The DLCs aren't really residing very well with the community, and in response, we finally got a response to all of these concerns. A community representative from Ubisoft, UbiPhobos, who is always on the forums, had this to say: "Hey Cookie, glad to hear you and your friends have had a great time, as most of us have. Happy to see your passion for the future of the game, as most of us do have that passion. I can understand your perspective. We will be sharing more information on what we have planned for our DLC and our future game updates and items soon. Thank you for taking the time to write this up and pass it along. It means the world to hear your support." Now, this doesn't confirm or change anything in the grand scheme of things. UbiPhobos didn't specifically come out and say we are changing our DLC pattern, but they are acknowledging the concerns from the community. So that's a big step, number one. They're not just ignoring all the requests and all the concerns that people have on Reddit and the forums. It's really an outcry right now. It's really nice to have that acknowledgement as a community, and now that we know that Ubisoft has taken that step into listening to what we have to say, the next step is holding them accountable for what they have to say right here. For all those planned future DLCs and the future game updates that they do have in the works, I am holding them accountable and responsible for what we do get in the game next. And it's not too uncommon for game developers to miss their mark completely. It happens all the time. Some things work with the community, some things don't work. It just so happens that in this case, the DLCs that they have planned, again, these DLCs weren't just developed on the spot. They were pre-planned months before release. They just didn't work with us. They didn't reside well with us. So it's time to go back to the drawing board, and I think that's exactly what they're doing. Now, if they continue to release the DLCs that we dislike and they're unrealistic and they're very expensive in the store and they're not sold separately, basically Ubisoft not adhering to any of the features or the requests that most of the community does have, I'm going to stop giving them the benefit of the doubt, and it's going to be a real problem, and I'm not going to be very happy, and I can imagine most of you guys won't be as well. But I think the fair thing to do, for me anyway, feel free to comment below what you guys are feeling, and feel free to express yourselves any way you guys would like. I'm going to wait until Narco Road and maybe a little bit post Narco Road to see how the DLC shifts or changes, or maybe not. Maybe it's not the case at all. I do understand that these development processes do take time, and they can't develop brand new DLC that the community would love in a day. So with all that being said, I'm going to be patient, and I do encourage some of you guys to do the same. I want to see where this goes, and Ubisoft has the opportunity to flip all of this around because Ghost Recon could be great, and it's not the DLCs that most of us are discouraged by and dislike. It's the quality of the DLCs, the content itself. Make it authentic, make it fit, and I think we'll be onto something here. So let's get on to those top-rated comments of this video. Michael Wilson says, "Hey man, I think you got a good thing going here with the channel. Keep doing the best you can, man. I have an idea though. They should try to implement a player-created mission system. Nothing outrageous, simple missions, but be able to change the difficulty." I've thought about this a little bit, but I do think it seems a little bit out of scope for what they had planned for Ghost Recon, as I would assume that it would probably be in the game right now if they really had any plans for it, but it's still a really cool feature nonetheless, and I do know that that would definitely add to some of the replayability and answer that replayability question that we do have for Ghost Recon right now. The one thing I do want to take away from this comment is that I think they have to get some streamlined difficulty setting across the board for matchmaking or co-op. If your buddy's playing on arcade and some random joins in on the hardest difficulty setting and he's trying to go in tactical and stealthy, the mission's just not going to go over well. You guys don't mesh well as a team. Ubisoft needs to make some vote system for the difficulty among the party, or maybe carry over the party leader's difficulty for the rest of the party members, just so everybody is on the same page. But I digress. Specialist says a horde mode would be greatly appreciated. I really love that this is a third-person shooter. Keeps me coming back for more. On top of that, I'm only halfway through the campaign, even though it really does feel like pick one. What would you guys think of a horde mode? I'm speculating that the Fallen Ghost second DLC is going to be a survival / horde mode type of DLC, but we really don't know much about it as it's the second DLC out, so let me know what you guys would think about that. I think the best way to add more content in a primarily PvE AI-centric shooter is that you add a horde mode. Make use of the resources that you already have. Have Unidad come at you guys, have the Fallen DLC AI come at you guys. There are some opportunities there that would keep some people playing, and I think it could work, but it's also important to remember that just because it works for one title doesn't necessarily mean it would work for Ghost Recon. So guys, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate all the feedback and all the comments lately. You guys are the best. Remember, if you want to be featured as a top rated comment, please leave your thoughts below and I might feature it in the next video. I will see you guys on the next one.